leveraging the strength of automation and the integrated products available to us within the Microsoft suite is actually pretty easy. And today, since COVID-19 seems to be everything that people want to talk about, today I'm going to go through the simple use and integration of two Microsoft products, Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Access. And I know for some of you, you use Microsoft Excel regularly, and these charts that you see here are easily created as a result of a Microsoft spreadsheet feeding in to a Microsoft Access database. And it becomes very, very simple to do. And these charts automatically get updated when the data within the Microsoft spreadsheet, and this is the example of the spreadsheet, is updated. All I do is save, update these few rows, and all the calculations, as you see, this section here of this spreadsheet is just pure input that I take from WHO and CDC and just input it on a daily basis. And then here, these are all calculated fields with these reds and greens. They all appear as a result of the data input as well as this information here. And the result is that it can produce a graph that you see here within Access. This is actually an Access graph. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this means and how we do all of this data input. So let's start by just simply opening up Microsoft Excel and taking a look at the data entry. So for many of you, you're doing data entry. Now, you may not be tracking the coronavirus. I happen to be, as a small business owner. I don't really believe the press a whole lot, but I do believe the data that's coming in from different sources like the CDC and WHO, as good as the data is, right? And of course, you could debate that, but here I'm just drawing out what those data points are and then allowing the data to tell me what the conclusions are. But here we're just simply entering data. So you're just entering data as you normally would, and you simply save that spreadsheet. Now, the next step that you do is you need to have something set up within Access. And here, this is what Access looks like, Microsoft Access. So here, for example, this is the Microsoft Access screen. Now, remember that data that I'm pulling is represented right here as a spreadsheet. Now, if you notice there, the URL or the UNC path that it's going to my desktop coronatracking.xlsx. That means that this data is being filled automatically from that spreadsheet every day. Notice here, the 18th, I entered the data, it's saved in the spreadsheet. As soon as Access opened, it took control or ownership of that spreadsheet and input the data into this table. So that's pretty handy. Then what you do is you create queries that allow you to look up and massage the data, basically get the data that you want for your final graph. So in this example, here you can see all of the fields. This is pretty easy to do. You can just add these fields. And then here, so these are all the fields from the spreadsheet, remember? Remember right here, if we look at the, oh, I can't really do that, but you can see the fields here along the top. Okay, so here are all the fields, and you can see the date, and we can select other fields if we choose to. Here, I've just put in a simple factor of not equal to 0. And so when I run this query, notice here that it's nice and clean. All I have is the data. If you look at the actual data, notice here that there are empty spaces, there are nulls here, right? No data, right? Because it's a spreadsheet, but here it's cleaned up. That's what the query does for us. And then let me see here, confirm dead. And where are we, actual dead? And let's go ahead and look at the actual graph. And then the graph itself is just a graph within Access. Now, when I come in and I update the spreadsheet and I update my Sway site with the new data, then it's very simple. These reports here are auto-generated. So I have to create. So let's show you exactly what I do then. Then I take this report here and I open it up. And now notice that I have the actual report for the data for this day. Pretty easy. So all I do is now I could produce this differently. There's lots of options here. This is just how I'm doing it for this case, but it's very simple. I use the snipping tool found within Windows, and I just simply snip this, right? And it opens up. And then I just do a file save as, and then I save it here um, as something, right? And you can see where I saved them this morning. And that's it. And then the final step is to produce that data. Now, for some of you, this may be the step where you stop and you just maybe print this as a report. You could do that. That's pretty easy. We could just print this report and you'd have a nice PDF of it. You might collect all these images and put them in a PowerPoint. Maybe it's data that you're using for other things and you want to put it into some sort of readable format every week. Great, that's pretty easy to do. Or you can use Sway to display that data. I'm not going to go into Sway on this video because this video is a lot longer than I usually like, but you can do all of that just simply leveraging automation that you have at your fingertips within Microsoft Suite, the Microsoft Suite that you're using, Access, Excel, all the other products. This is just one on kind of getting Access and Excel to easily work together. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, that sounds like a lot of work, and you're saying it's easy, but it's not. It's really pretty easy. But if you need some help, don't hesitate to contact info at technologymilestones.com, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that for you. And technology milestones is one word. So we'll go ahead and help you with that. And if you're interested in this data that's on the screen, you can go to bit.ly/lush corona, one word, with the L for lush and the C for corona, both capitalized. Thank you.